some really good information and insights with regard to what we're doing here. You know, as mentioned, we're excited to be speaking to you in partnership with RoomKey. You know, as was mentioned in the introduction here, I'm someone who is working in a hotel leadership role. So the opportunities and the challenges for hotels and guests are very familiar to me, and I'm going to take you through, just as a general structure here, our mission at GuestDriven, give you an idea of how and why we have created our Express product, and really provide a live example, followed by a case study and a little bit of information on who we're working with. So what are we about here at GuestDriven? We are really pushing the envelope to provide hotels with a deep and insightful view of their guests, along with the tools to engage and interact with them at key moments. So our platform is enabling hotels and resorts to connect with guests throughout the full stay cycle, whether that be pre-stay, in-stay, or post-stay. But for the purposes of this call and our Express product specifically, we are focused on the pre-stay experience and the powerful revenue generation opportunities that exist with pre-check-in, upgrade, and upsell offers. So why did we come up with this? From an operational standpoint, we saw and heard from hotels we're working with that the arrival experience at their properties often began with a lineup at the front desk and a check-in process that really is dominated by transactional exchanges with the guest. So that's operationally, and from a revenue standpoint, there were opportunities to upgrade guests on arrival that were being missed. In our connected world, mobile really is first for travelers, and we're at a time where they're expecting engagement through their phones and tablets. And the opportunity that we identified in this engagement and the moment is really this critical window of time, 24 hours prior to arrival, when guests are in the travel mindset. So when they're in this mindset, they're packing their bags, they're reviewing their travel times, their stay arrangements, confirming meetings, you know, essentially just making sure that they have everything they need for the upcoming trip. And this is when they're making their spending decisions as well. And they're preparing to arrive at your property. So we feel here at GuestDriven that your hotel should take advantage of this moment to capture accurate arrival information and engage with the guest to showcase unbooked room inventory. This in the form of upgrades, and in addition to this, the services that you offer to guests, any ancillary items. And this communication is something that your guests really expect at this point. A comparison I like to draw is with the airline industry, very much a sister industry to hotels. You know, they're offering this type of process and have seen great results through engaging travelers via the mobile device. Invitations to pre-check-in, last-minute seat upgrade offers. You know, if the seat is unbooked in a first-class you know, portion of the plane, they're going to offer them an upgrade to that for a little bit extra because it's unsold, and they might as well be optimizing their inventory. And this, you know, system of upgrades and the pre-check-in to flights, you know, has driven massive revenues through for airlines in to the tune of about 1/3 of their total gross revenue coming in through this mobile travel engagement stream. So we know that the hotel market is ready to tap into this, and the opportunity really is huge. So how does it work? I'm going to preface this piece by saying that everything we're going to show you and what we're going to focus on is the guest experience for this particular user story. That said, all of the onboarding and communication of information through the Express product is integrated with your RoomKeyPMS to make the process seamless for your hotel operation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump out of this and I'm going to bring up here our landing page. So the initial communication to your guest really here is the step one. So this is the invitation to check in. So this is an email that is mobile optimized, but can be viewed on any screen. So it's a reactive solution. The landing page, once they click to check in, brings them here. And everything I'm showing you now is completely customizable to the look, logos, messaging of your property. So we white label this to you, and you completely populate it with your look and feel, so it really takes on the branding of your property. This landing page has a very targeted message here to pre-check-in. Once they click on pre-check-in, they're delivered to a page with their details. This has a pre-populated confirmation code, and the arrival date would be pre-populated as well. The only piece of information we're looking for the guest to add at this time is an accurate arrival time of when they feel that they'll be arriving at your hotel. Again, this is 24 hours before they're checking in, so this will be accurate arrival information for your operations department. Once they've given you the accurate arrival information, the next step is really just to validate their information that's on file with the property. So you'll see here a lot of verbiage to do with Passport. This is just to show that we will be able to integrate with any sort of profile engine that you have or loyalty program. But essentially we would be able to have these fields as email, first name, last name, mobile phone number, any little bits of information that you would want to confirm before your guest arrives. The next page here will give them the upgrades and offers. And so the first piece of the first steps of the pre-arrival process really focuses on, again, that information, the ability to get that transactional element out of the way before that they're arriving at the front desk and be able to expect them better. And this piece is all about the revenue generation. So we have here an example of a suite upgrade, a food and beverage offer, and a experiential offer. And in this example, it's a spa double treatment. All of this would be tailor-made to your property. We work with you to set this up and make sure that the offers that we're presenting to your guests are the type of offers that we see confirmations and conversions to a high rate, and really want to make sure that they're the great value adds to your guests for the pre-check-in process. So as an example, they would be able to, if they wanted to see a little more information, tap on the suite upgrade. They would then be presented with a little bit more information on what the upgrade entails, and they would give the opportunity to add the perk on. And then this would be added to the folio. In addition, we could add on a spa treatment or the food and beverage offer just as easily by tapping and adding the perk. Once they've selected their upgrades and their offers, the next step for them would be to, it's just really a confirmation step. So they have put this information in, making sure everything's right one more time before they progress to the next step, and then they're going to confirm. This is when the information is then sent through to your property and communicates with the RoomKeyPMS to be able to take the next step and be actioned on. We have an option here to be able to, after they've confirmed their details and it's been sent to the hotel, to share via social channels that your hotel manages the excitement about their upcoming stay, whether that be through Facebook, Twitter, any that your hotel has activated. We would be able to say, you're excited about coming to see us. Share that with your network on social media. And then after that, we have the option to give a little bit of instant feedback on your experience or the guest experience with the pre-check-in process specifically. So again, making sure that this process is something that they're happy with, that they find as a value add, and is really enriching their arrival experience. At the end of the stay, we also have the ability to offer later checkouts as offers. So here, an example to purchase a later checkout time. We really find we've had some great success with our hotel partners on this front. It seems more often than not, in my experience, and I'm sure everyone on the call, that in the name of great customer service and guest service, rather, that whenever someone needs a late checkout or an early check-in, as long as the hotel is not completely unable to flip the rooms, or it's not that crazy of a day, we will be able to offer that to a guest for a complimentary or on a complimentary basis rather. And what we found is by giving guests a alternative channel to request a early check-in or later checkout and monetize that to the guest in terms of an additional charge to request a later checkout time, we've seen some great conversions on that. So, big opportunity there as well, just in terms of guest service. And then the last piece that we have here is the make a request. This is a future piece of functionality that we will be rolling out in the coming months. But just to give a preview, this is an example of a live chat widget that will enable the guest to connect one-to-one with a hotel representative to be able to ask anything they want in terms of if it's a request pre-arrival or just a piece of information, some more pre-arrival or on-site questions that they have. So this is really an open forum and facilitating that communication and that real engagement with the guest via a media that they're comfortable with in terms of the text messaging as a traditional method. So, to sum up the experience in the process, we've really designed this to be to have a simple, targeted flow of a process, and for it to be uncomplicated and simple for the guest. Really, the clear steps and the pre-population of key information prevents guests from getting lost or abandoning the pre-arrival before it is complete. So there's no open-ended piece to this process. There's always a next step, and we see great conversion rates because of this and the design. So to sum up some of the key benefits that we see, it's really beneficial for both your guests and your property. From your hotel standpoint, you're streamlining the arrival process by better being able to anticipate when your guests will arrive. This by having verified file information prior to the front desk interaction. It really eliminates the transactional elements of the check-in process and shortens the lines and reduces the wait times. This sort of reduction on the operational load allows for a more personal and conversational first interaction with your front desk staff. This creates an expectation of arrival for the guest and a strong first impression of your staff. More than this, you're also selling upgrades to your guests automatically through a comfortable and expected medium that sees some strong conversion numbers. When these amenities and services are presented to the guest pre-arrival, it allows for personalization of the stay experience before they get there. And it's engaging them in a way that sets you as a property up for success while communicating to the guest the feeling of being valued and taken care of by your property. And in terms of upgrades, it's also taking the pressure off of your front desk to be upgrading each and every guest if you have a low occupancy night, because they're the last line of contact before the guest gets in the room. So sometimes when a guest is checking in after a long travel day, they just want to get to the room. So by having that whole upgrade process taken off the plate and done prior to arrival, it's really powerful in terms of enriching the guest experience. And we have here a case study of one of our properties that we have live and running Express. The results really are speaking for themselves here, and should say that these statistics have gotten even more robust in the past month for this example. But for the purposes of what we see here, our process sees a 60% open rate for the email invitation, 25% of guests completing the check-in, and that's one of those statistics that has drastically improved over the past month as well. 17 to 20% are purchasing upgrades, and this is contributing to an additional 6% of inventory sold and a 9% nightly boost in RevPar. So when we asked the GM here for this property for a comment, the verdict seemed to be in, keep Express going every day, we love it. And really, why wouldn't they? They're seeing a boost in RevPar nightly like that of 9%. So there would be great opportunity if this solution was leveraged for a whole year and beyond, as they are and continue to do. As an idea of who we're working with and what our footprint is, we're producing results for over 220 properties worldwide, with more coming on board each week to create this seamless engagement. We have great high-profile, forward-thinking hotel clients, along with our partnership with RoomKey to offer you an integrated solution for your properties in particular. And this brings us sort of to what the next steps would look like. And to give you guys an idea, we really pride ourselves here at GuestDriven on our ability to get up and running quickly and easily with Express. It really is a very light deployment. We support through the whole process and in terms of after as well. So the best time to try out really is now. If you guys are interested in taking advantage of this opportunity, please reach out to RoomKey and connect for more information. We have some information here on the slide. And on that note, thank you for your time. I've really enjoyed the opportunity to speak with you. And I will now pass it back to RoomKey and Navneet to wrap up the call.
Thanks, Chris. That was great. If you have some time, we have a bunch of great questions here from our attendees.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to answer.
Great. Thanks. So just a quick question here. Is this a completely web-based tool, or do we have to download an app for this?
That's a good one. We are completely web-based for this process. So it is download free. We really wanted to make sure that this was accessible to each and every one of your guests. So the email is web-based, links to a mobile web solution, again, completely reactive for any screen, and so install free.
Okay, that's great. So do you find that because it's not an app-based, you have a better response rate?
Yeah, in terms of the targeted approach to a mobile pre-arrival, you really want it to be able to be actioned on quickly. So as a guest is preparing to arrive at a hotel, you want to have them pre-check in. The more steps you remove from that process, and we really did focus on that, get it down to the core pieces and components that really add value to a guest and add value to your property. And one of those that needs to be removed is the barrier to have to download or install something. It takes time.
Right, perfect. That totally makes sense. So that's a quick question here on inventory. So can you set an inventory on how many late checkouts are available? For example, once 20 noon checkouts have been granted, does it shut it off automatically?
We can limit inventory on offers. Generally, what we've seen in the past with other properties is when it comes to late checkouts or early check-ins, we include verbiage of a request. You know, even if you're entering in inventory, let's say in the morning, by 3 p.m. that could very much change. And if it's a busy day, where that's the type of day where it's going to change that quick, you may not have had the opportunity to update the inventory as well. So, you know, regardless of what the inventory would have been, we always ensure that it's a request, and if the property is able to accommodate the request, then they will be charged accordingly per the request.
Okay, so I have a couple questions kind of relating on if you do say book a spa treatment, how do you select a time for that treatment? Like, is there a drop-down box? Does somebody call the person? Do you discuss it upon check-in? Like, how is that determined?
Yeah, and there's different opportunities to address that operationally. One most common way we see is a follow-up call from the hotel. Again, you're going to have a proper phone number for this person because they completed the pre-check-in process, so you'll be able to have a quick follow-up call to be able to schedule in the best time for them for the spa treatment. Alternatively, again, it could be handled at the front desk, and again, that would be a great touch point for the guest in terms of really showing that you are engaged with them, and you expected this need because they took the time to pre-communicate with you and do the check-in. So either way is great in terms of direct selection of a time from within the flow of the pre-check-in. We do not offer that at this time.
Okay, great. Another couple of questions on how things look on the room key side of things. How are staff made aware of the purchases or messages? Is it automatically checked in or upgraded if they purchase an upgrade?
So there's always, so this is the great question. For the communication with RoomKey, we send all of the information through. Operationally, we have the ability to send out escalations and messages to ensure nothing's falling through the cracks. So as requests come in and as pre-check-ins come in, staff can be notified via email, text message, really ensuring that the operations is well informed of what's happening through this pre-arrival pipeline. In terms of the inventory management side of things, there's two schools of thought on that. So we keep it open-ended. There's those properties that might not have all the inventory in the world to be able to have everything being shuffled automatically without their strict purview and oversight. So we allow it to be manually managed, and we can also do more of an automated process in terms of the upgrades.
Great. That kind of leads me into my next question is, what type of tracking do you have to show the upgrade revenue that we can generate from using this GuestDriven Express product?
Yeah, so our GuestDriven Express is completely tracked and analyzed. So we have a full analytics dashboard that we can give access to the hotel. In addition to this, monthly reporting, ROI tracking. This is all part of the service that we provide to ensure that your property knows the success that you're having through this channel. So the analytics, the deep dive, the reporting is all there and supported by us here at GuestDriven.
Okay, just another question on the late checkouts. So if someone has requested a late checkout, and obviously they're not checking out on time, how how does the front desk notify of that so they don't call them saying, like, you know, you're late checking out, and yeah.
Okay, I understand. For the late checkout, this would be something that would be a note on file. Again, attention called to it through one of our notification systems, and it would be updated in terms of the checkout time that's on the reservation. So that information would be updated.
Okay, that makes sense. In terms of the upgrade costs, do they need to be fixed, or can they be loaded as prices fluctuate based on inventory?
They can absolutely be loaded based on inventory and demand, occupancy. So there's flexibility on that. We work with you guys to ensure that the base is set up there for you in terms of inventory and what maybe some of those standard upgrades look like. But you can absolutely manage that.
So once everything is up and running, so if we wanted to make modifications to our offers, is there a dashboard or something that the customer can use in order to do that, or do we have to go through GuestDriven in order to add a new package or something?
No, so it's we have a very simple offer creation dashboard. It's a template that essentially you can fill out. The ability to upload a picture, all very simple, and then it will pre-populate and make the offer to that mobile optimized type of offer that we saw through the demo. So the ability is absolutely in the hotel's hands to update that and change and turn on and off really as many different offers as they would like to manage. We, of course, are always here for support at GuestDriven. So that is part of the engagement. If there's any help needed to update or manage any aspect of the hotel-facing system, we absolutely do not incur any extra costs from that.
That's great to have that flexibility available. Now, in terms of pricing, how do you price this? Is it per room basis, or how does it work for this?
The bulk of our pricing is transactional. So the idea behind this is really when this solution is generating revenue for your property, that's when revenue is being generated as part of the partnership. So there's a base transactional rate of 15% on the purchases that are made through the Express flow. And in terms of room upgrades, I know this sort of comes up as a follow-up sometimes. In terms of room upgrades, that is the delta on the upgrade. So if it's a $200 room and they're buying a $50 upgrade, the 15% transactional would be on that $50 upgrade. And then more information about pricing and particulars would absolutely be able to be delivered to you from your friendly RoomKey sales team. So please reach out to them for next steps.
Great. I have a question here on, is there a way to provide an electronic key on a guest cell phone so that the customer doesn't need to come to the front desk if they've already checked in?
So this is a great question, great future hotel tech question. Well, it's actually here now. We, for the Express product that we're covering today, the ability to provide a mobile key on the phone is not necessarily in the immediate aspect or realm of Express. Now, there are a number of different solutions depending on who your electronic lock provider, in terms of who you're looking to work with. if that's a hardware deal that's being done to retrofit your doors. If you have more of a lobby kiosk solution you're looking to work with, near field communication, we're able to be flexible on that and sort of enable that communication back to the guest. But in terms of a typical flow, it would be you'd be able to process the pre-check-in. On the hotel side, you would then be able to pre-check in a room, which is always a possibility regardless of electronic key or not, because you have the accurate arrival information. You'd be able to check in a room, and then as part of that room check-in process, there would be the creation of the electronic key and then communication of that back to the guest. So again, depending on different solutions, that could be a QR code that would be used at a kiosk to be able to produce the physical key. It could be a link to download an application that works with your electronic locks. It really is an open-ended piece as it's still newer technology, but very exciting and something we absolutely work closely with, not only from a standpoint of the pre-check-in, pre-arrival, but also for our full product, of which more information is available at GuestDriven.com, which is our full Engage product, which is the more native, downloadable, installable application for a property.
Great. So maybe your Engage product is what this next question will involve. But one of our customers here is looking if we've looked into communication during the stay, like room service orders or maintenance needs, etc.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct in that segue, in that piece. We do have a full Engage piece. This is an application that really covers not only it includes this pre-arrival functionality that we've covered on the call so far, but also includes all the in-stay, precisely what they mentioned: room service ordering, ordering of housekeeping, valet, maintenance requests, the sharing of information in terms of what's on-site, digitized compendium for the property, surrounding area recommendations of points of interest, driving direct bookings through a very mobile-focused interface that's like this is designed to convert pre-check-ins. We have our application converts direct mobile bookings just as efficiently. So all of that functionality and that sort of deep, rich on-site engagement that comes through an application and the ability to communicate back and forth between the hotel and the application, because it's installed on the phone, sending push notifications of last-minute specials or events, our ability to integrate and work with iBeacon technology, which is a very exciting technology. It's all contained in that very robust on-site post-stay application that we offer, which is Engage.
Great. So I know we've kind of touched on this before, but we have a bit more of a specific question here on inventory availability. So let me just try to sum it up here. It's kind of asking about the upgrade options, if that is unavailable at the time. That is it tied to actual inventory? So if an upgrade room type is available, none will be offered? Or how dynamic is the upgrade potential? Can it be done not just by room type, but also by amenity?
Okay, so for the room upgrade aspect of the question, it is absolutely tied to inventory. We're not, in the business of overselling a particular room category for you, especially in terms of upgrades. So when they're doing, the guest that is, when the guest is doing a pre-check-in, if there is no upgraded suite availability, then that offer will not be presented to the guest through the process. In terms of particular upgrade options or upsell options, we don't generally have strict inventory controls just in terms of, these are the items that you want to be offering to your guests that really have no limits that you would want on an ideal night every single guest to be able to purchase to boost up your nightly revenue. So those are the ones that we try to encourage hotels to offer. If there are specific ones that are more inventory controlled, I mean, we have those safeguards in place for rooms, so it definitely wouldn't be off the table to have that control.
Okay, great. Let me see. I think we've covered most of the questions. I apologize if I didn't get to them all, but we will touch base with everybody who did ask questions just to make sure that you don't have any other questions that you need answered. So with that, Chris, is there anything else you wanted to wrap up before we end the call?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you for the great questions, very insightful, very poignant. So it's always great to hear that people were listening and are very interested, and happy to speak to everyone.
Great, thanks. Sorry, Chris, I just got one more question that I think might be relevant to everybody, if you don't mind. Sure. Is there a recommended number of offers that you should suggest?
This is a good one. So based on our experience here, more than 3 offers is something that has, what we call in the mobile world scroll potential. So if it's not on the immediate first screen of a mobile offer, you're going to have to scroll to it based on the content-rich way we present offers. So more than 3 or 4 becomes too many in terms of optimizing conversions. And when you're presenting all of them at once and you see those 3 offers, you can be sure that no one's missing the 4th one by just not scrolling down to it, and really understand more about how guests are choosing those offers and what's working. So it's also, there's an interesting testing your offers sort of built into the inherent flow of our Express product.
Great, thanks, Chris. Really appreciate your time for presenting today. Everything looked really great, and all your questions were answered great. Thank you so much for that. If anybody has any more information, like I mentioned before, the RoomKey sales staff will be following up, but if you have any immediate questions, please drop an email to sales@RoomKeyPMS.com or call us at 1-800-234-5695. And the webinar will be posted on our RoomKeyPMS.com website by the end of the day. And I will send out an email as well with a link to the recorded webinar. So thank you again for attending the Guest-Driven, the Future of Engagement webinar today. Thank you.